How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome, Doug. Good to see you. Janet, Alicia. Appreciate you guys being on here. Deanna Powell, Debbie, Kim, Joyce, John Herehold. What's up, buddy? Got the crew on here. Paige Turner is on, but I think she's going to come on here in just a minute. Guys, by the way, Paige's show, Flip or Flop Nashville, is absolutely killing, and her ratings are through the roof. She's been on, goodness, I think she's been on the Today Show like twice this year. She's absolutely a killer. She's unbelievable. And so she's going to come on here and shed some light on, some of the thoughts that she has about the industry and how we can position ourselves to be bigger, stronger, and faster realtors. By the way, guys, we were doing this webinar on selling more houses. We were doing this every Wednesday morning. We have changed it. It's going to be every Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. This is a good chance because everything's getting kind of crazy with the growth of EXP and all of the amazing agents coming on board. Matter of fact, Doug Mathis, brand new to EXP, top producer. Love that we're getting him and his wife, Kelly, involved with EXP. They see the vision. And so it's just every day. I think I had 3 people call me yesterday saying, hey, man, I'm ready to be a part of this agent ownership thing. And one of our passion points here at EXP is we have to have the best agents. I mean, we have to train better than anybody because we want to be the biggest real estate company in the history of the world. And our growth pattern, we're putting in 1,200 agents a month right now. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time. And, I think we're going to be at 45,000 agents possibly by the end of this year, and crazy stuff. So what we got to do is help everybody get better. Every day we get a little bit better and try to shed not just what I know about the changings in the market, because I mean, I could sit here and tell you my opinion all day, but what I love about EXP's training is we don't just rely on one agent to give their opinion on what's going on. And that's why every week I try to, put this together where we're bringing on mega agents, mega power players in real estate, so you guys can hear from them, not just me. And so little background while we're waiting on Paige to come on, a little background on me. I was a 14-year RE/MAX veteran with the industry, well over 1,000 houses. Best year in real estate, I had built a team. So I have had a team back in 2004 through 7-ish. And the best year with 6 buyers agents, we did 219 houses in a calendar year. Then the market tanked. I actually had bought a RE/MAX. And I'm just giving you guys the background. I had bought a RE/MAX franchise in the worst time in the industry to ever buy a franchise. I mean, I don't know if there's any good time to buy a franchise, but that was a pretty bad time. And I lost everything. So I went down in the market crash, not just because of the RE/MAX. I went down because I'm a developer also. So I do commercial development, and I had a 122 townhome pad development. I was building the roads. I designed with all the engineers, everything about the development down to the sign at the front. And I lost that in the downturn. So when you talk about where somebody's been, sometimes there's lessons to be learned that I hopefully can learn for you guys. I came out of the recession extremely conservative. I never want to go back there. I never want to hedge to what could possibly, I'm very conservative after losing everything. And that development, by the way, was a $3.5 million loan that went into default. So when people when I had somebody say, you know, have you ever gone bankrupt? And I said, yeah, but not over a $6,000 credit card, because, you know, I went bankrupt over a $3.5 million development deal. So I tell you guys that not to like, because I rebuilt back, you know, last year at Remax, and I'm waiting on Paige. I'm just kind of giving you guys a background, then I'm going to get going. Last year when I was at Remax, which was 19 and a half months ago, I sold $21 million worth of real estate. That's a combination of about 85% residential, 15% commercial. I did that with no buyer's agents, a full-time assistant, and a part-time assistant. And then when I came to EXP, contrary to everybody saying, oh, you know, I mean, I was with Remax for 14 years, you know. Well, you know, the brand is me, not Remax. I'm the brand, Jay Nelson. You know, Doug Mathis is the brand. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. Doug Mathis is the brand. You know, Deonna Powell, that's the brand. It's not EXP. It's not Remax. It's not Berkshire. It doesn't matter. You're the brand. And I'm going to talk about that. I've got some real opinions on what's about to go down in this industry. And I believe that the smart, versatile, agile agents are the ones that are going to survive an absolute turnaround in an industry. And you got to be ahead of it and not behind it. So let me see if Paige is on here. We got 50 agents that want to learn this morning. I love that. 48 agents on here. That is so cool. Don't see Paige. All right. So, there's Paige. Hey, Paige.
Hey, Jay.
Turn your mic on.
It's on. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. There you are. Awesome.
I've been on since 8:15, but I got back a little late from the gym, and I'm still not completely presentable. But because we are transparent here at EXP, this is me in all my natural glory. Okay, guys?
Natural glory. Natural glory. Well, you look great, so it's all good. So, guys, let me introduce Paige Turner. Paige Turner is, and I really do mean this, she's one of the most dynamic real estate people I've ever met in my life. And I'm not just saying that. Her energy, her passion for people, her career of, I believe, 15 years, Paige. Most of that career she spent being an owner of her own brokerage, Egap Realty, mentoring agents, you know, especially in Nashville, Tennessee, where she's from. But now that she's on the Today Show or Good Morning America twice a year, she's a superstar. And now no, it's true. I mean, like even her segments on, was it Today Show or Good Morning America?
Today Show 3 times last year.
How many? 3 times. I mean, she's going to be like running The View at some point, you know, the show The View. But she's a great real estate person. And guys, this is going to be a real treat to kind of hear about what she sees the market doing, what she's doing, and what she's teaching agents. You know, and Paige, I know you're doing great. You're kind of moving back into doing some HUD stuff and doing some foreclosure stuff, kind of getting positioned for maybe a downturn of some sort. But guys, let's just open our ears, our hearts to one of the best real estate people that I know in the world, Miss Paige.
My gosh.
You really are. That's not me hyping. So Paige, what do you tell us a little bit about your background first, how you got into real estate, and then we want to go into what you believe that these agents need to be doing to sell more houses. That's what the primary, but I do want them to get to know you on a personal level. So go ahead.
Sure. Well, good morning, everybody. It is truly an honor to be on this call and following behind the commitment that Jay has to all of us here at EXP who are seasoned agents and new agents. I really do count it as an honor because of how esteemed Jay has been in this business forever. I remember just as an agent getting into the business in 2003 and opening my brokerage in 2005. Yeah, 2005. seeing Jay Nelson's wrapped trucks driving around the city. We never met, we never knew each other until EXP. And I just go, you know, it was a love-hate relationship that he even know I had with him, because he was such a top realtor, seemed so untouchable. And at that time, I couldn't learn anything from him. Not just because he was at a Remax and I owned Egap, it's just because realtors have this undefined, very whispery type of, you stay on your side, I'll stay on my side. We don't communicate even if we're in the same office. You know, what's mine is mine and you figure out yours. So as a local, very small brokerage owner, at one point, right before the downturn in 2006, I had just about 40 agents. And I was over in Germantown before Germantown was popping, you know, out here in Nashville. And I was paying about $1,600 in rent on Jefferson. You know, I wanted to give back to community. I wanted to grow that area. And I didn't really know how. You know, one thing that we all know once you pass this real estate exam is that nothing you learned in real estate school do you actually apply in this business. So I wasn't taught how to be a business owner. I didn't go to college, wasn't interested, had 3 babies, decided to just pour my everything into them. They are now first generation college graduates right out of high school. So real estate's been good to me. I was able to put them through private school, put them through college, and somehow they're all coming back, but we'll figure that out later. So I really didn't have the tools to not only know how to grow a brokerage with brick and mortar on my own, but even how to grow really amazing realtors. I'm kind of a great realtor by default because I have a great work ethic and I have great vision and I understand marketing and I have passion. And so I think that's what's been able to bless me, but I never really had the tools. And I've paid thousands of dollars to go to conferences across the country. And I received a lot of information, but I never received the how to. So like I can call Jay or I can get in the world being with EXP and find out how to do XYZ. I never knew how to have a great open house. I hate open houses. When I tell you I hate them with everything in my heart and soul. But we have a video in our EXP world on how to host a great open house. And I did one Sunday and it was great. It was, I mean, people came and had a great time. I didn't receive any offers yet, but probably because the house is priced too high, but we're going to get to that too, what I think about this market. So that's a little bit of my background. I met with Rob Campbell and Kim Ha, who are amazing realtors and owned 14 something, you know, Remax brokerages at one time, and Kathy Carter and April Consulo about 7 months ago, and at Panera, and they called me and were like, hey, we want to talk to you about retirement and real estate. And I said, what does that mean? You know, I'm not going to join Remax. I own Egap. I've been a broker owner for 13 years. What? But when they said retirement, I went, huh? I don't have that. You guys, I don't have that. I went through the downturn like anybody else who's in this business. I did file bankruptcy. I did give back. I called the Cadillac dealership, a brand new Escalade. I said, listen, I'm not gonna pay the note because it's between this Escalade and my house that I'm raising my babies in. So don't come and get the car because I live in a cul-de-sac. You know, I have this Expedition that I can drive. I'll meet you somewhere and I'll give you the car back because I'm not going to choose. This is transparency though, you guys. I was not prepared for any type of recession. I was not taught about a recession, and I didn't have 3 streams in my business, in my one brokerage, to undergird me in case a downturn came. In fact, I had to go to the library and research what a recession was because I didn't know what was happening, and I didn't have anybody to turn to help me. So I literally had to figure out what to do and how to survive. Now, I was very fortunate and blessed that I didn't have to go get a traditional job. I did start doing research. I did start Googling, and I read up on foreclosures. I had been a selling agent on foreclosures, but I didn't know how to list foreclosures. I didn't know how to do any of that. And just by happenstance and God blessing me and a lot of research, I found HUD, and they had an opening for a local listing broker. Now, because of that, I was able to make more money during the recession than most general practitioners, you know, most physicians. And it really blessed me being able to sell 100, 125 properties a year. But then a different shift came, and that was the seller's market. And that was in 2016. So I went from selling 125 on, 100 on average listings a year from HUD into 0 foreclosures. And in 2017 had 5 3 total listings from HUD. So I had to go back to work as a regular old agent. And I almost needed some counseling behind that because I hadn't been with buyers in a long time. But that's one thing about being a versatile realtor. I know how to sell a 50 back in the day or a $10,000 lot. You remember those, Jay? I used to buy a lot of them, and I know how to sell $1 million home. So I was able to, just get back in it immediately. And plus I had built up, Egap for several years, I guess 10 years at that point. So I did have some branding in the city. I'm gonna take a breath because I know I'm just talking. So that's a little bit about me. Let me just say this real quick. I did meet with Kim and Rob and Kathy and them that day at Panera. We met at Panera. 12 minutes into them just sharing about, and I had never heard of EXP in June. This is last May, you guys. Last May, I joined in June. Last May, I had never heard of EXP, never saw a sign, nothing. And I think at that time, Jay, we were only like at what, 5,000 agents? Because we're at like 16,000 now.
We didn't have that many. I mean,
and especially here in Nashville. And so 12 minutes in, you guys, I was boo-hooing just at what they were sharing. And I felt this burden lift because here I am, still a broker, down to 14 agents, so heavily taxed. I mean, taxed 3 times on one agent. And I was right in between. When you own a brokerage, you either need 100 agents or you need 2 because it's too heavy to carry right in the middle. I was in an executive suites and I needed them to come in, but there just wasn't enough room. And in order for me to get more room, I had to buy or lease something for $5,000, $6,000 a month. And what I experienced in 2007, I will never put myself in that position.
Paige, I want to ask you a question. So, a couple of things, because you're on television, in prime time every Thursday at 7:00 Central Time. I mean, you're on television with your TV show. And it's, by the way, people are tuning in, especially to your segments, because you guys have amazing energy. It really is very entertaining. How did you, I mean, one thing that I'm really passionate about, and I really want you to talk about this, is, the personal branding of Paige Turner. Because I guys, you know what? I'm actually reluctant to tell you about something because I'm scared that it might scare you really too much. Something I saw yesterday, the companies that are coming to try to take our entire profession out at the knees. And I mean, I've never seen anything like what I saw yesterday. I mean, you think Zillow's trying to take us out at the knees? No, they're good to us compared to what I saw yesterday. And it really hit me in the face because it really told me, man, if these agents at EXP if you're not doing video content, you will not be in the industry in 5 years. You won't be able to sell a house.
This is true.
Now, that is a harsh statement, but if you saw what I saw yesterday, you would agree with me. I don't care how old school you're set up. You have got to be creating your own mini television show on your Facebook page, on your Instagram, or you will be forgotten. Now, that is a strong statement. But guys, Paige, I want you to talk about, this television show you've got, but you're also really branded on social media. And I want to get these agents comfortable in front of a camera. So talk about that. Talk about branding you, Paige Turner, and them.
Well, let me say, I have never been, in fact, I just started a YouTube page, and Jay, you are really leading that fire in me. So much so, I'm about to blow up my YouTube page that I went on Amazon last week and I purchased for $121. I don't know if you can see this right here. An entire green screen and lighting system. You see that? Came with 4 lights, $121, a wireless mic. I don't know, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
It has a green screen and everything because you have ignited this. You know what? I have great branding, I think, just because I've been in the business and I do branding on social media, but I really need to plug into these one-on-one, or not one-on-one, but like YouTube videos, how you do. And so I thank you for that, because I said, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. You don't need this, but I need lighting. So, you know, lighting is the way with women. So I went and bought all this new lighting, and I'm so excited to do that. So it is very important that, you know, you get uncomfortable so that you can get comfortable with branding yourself on social media, because it is free. It's free. I mean, it is the best way to market through social media and YouTube, and making yourself the expert.
Yeah.
Hold on. I just ran up and down those stairs and now my heart rate's up.
Let me, while you're taking a breath, let me ask you another question. So, you know, not everybody has the nationwide TV show, and that you got to create content. If you look into Gary, I want to encourage people to follow a couple of people, and I'm going to make one of them. I'm going to make a disclaimer on. There's a gentleman by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you're not paying very close attention to Gary Vaynerchuk, it's a big, huge, nasty mistake in your career. Because Vaynerchuk has a belief that this is the age of connectivity and creating content, content that sticks. You know, if you're creating like Paige, the amount of YouTube, you know, I'm going to get, you know, Paige, have someone shooting behind the scenes that's just throwing them up to YouTube on, you know, and get your followers to follow that as you're shooting these shows. You know, just funny outtakes, funny things that you, when you're not shooting the actual part of the show, and just creating content with Paige Turner, creating content with, you know, Marie DeMaria. I mean, you've got to be a content creator, and that's where you're creating stuff on Facebook Live. You're creating really high quality value videos, and you're repurposing them in your YouTube page to be able to stay there as content, where when someone's looking to figure out who is Doug Mathis, who is this Doug Mathis, we got to be able to let them find Doug Mathis. Let me, I'm going down a rabbit hole, just track with me. Doug Mathis he was in the ministry. He's mentored. He's taken care of people. He's given his life to do good. We need to make sure that when people are looking for a realtor, you know, they need to be able to see some of that stuff that you did for 25 years, 30 years, because that is very, very awesome. And so think about creating content about what you know, what your past is. Who are you? Let people know who you are. Another thing I want to say is, if you guys are not following Stacey Vaughn, did y'all see that video Stacey Vaughn did at the golf course? Did y'all see that?
And you know, 2 months ago, she wouldn't even get in front of a camera.
She wouldn't even get in front of a camera. Guys, she just did a video with Fonda Hatmaker, and you guys can look. Brittany Zappitz, was that not awesome? Brittany's a top Keller Williams agent, was a Keller Williams agent, now EXP down in Orlando. Ballers, look Brittany up, she's killing it. But she did a video, and it was like 2-camera professional, you know, and her on a golf course, and it was funny. And I want Paige to talk about being don't take yourself so seriously. People want to know you're goofy. They want to know you can't say a line and you fumble and just mess it up and then make a fool of yourself. People trust. Trust is the #1 thing they're going to look at when they choose a realtor. The second part is, first is trust. Second is, how good are you at your job?
Yep.
So talk about trust. Talk about what you do to not take yourself so seriously. And I'm going to go into what you're coaching your agents to do for cold lead prospect here in a minute. Go ahead, Paige.
So definitely trust. I think that when you're very transparent with people, in my career, that's what I always hear. Paige was honest with us, you know, whether it's a buyer, and I'm like, listen, if this were me, I can't tell you what to do as an adult, but if this were me, this is the biggest investment you're going to make. Let's keep looking, you know, so that, because I'm not a greedy agent, I don't chase money. So, you know, and I've never chased money. Do I need it? Sure, but I don't chase it. So when I create a rapport with somebody, I first educate them, and that's how they first step into that trust. So any buyer, I have a great buyer's package, you know, what to expect, how much you need up front, you know, all about inspections and appraisals. So at any point, they can refer to this, either sometimes we email it nowadays, but when I first meet with them, it's only about 5 or 6 pages, and it's the first steps to buying a house or what to expect when listing your home. So that's where the trust starts, especially with buyers, because a lot of people always give listing presentations, but never a buyer's presentation. And when buyers meet with other agents or interviewing agents, which I've never been interviewed, because as soon as they shake my hand, they're going to select me. So they always say, I've never even received anything like this before. You know, how to prepare for purchasing a house, what to expect from your lender, the appraiser, the inspector, how much you need from earnest money, you know, whether it's $500 to $5,000, down to inspection, down to the $50 termite letter. So they're prepared. That's what creates the trust with me and my clients. And then if I make a mistake, I had my client say, you know what, Paige, you have always told me whether good or bad news, even if you've made a mistake, I made a mistake, you know, but they do see the funny side of me. I do upload, we have, you know, when you watch the show, those funny outtakes on the show, those are just us messing up and being, I didn't even know they were going to put those in the show. So they're just very candid, but just being an authentic person and showing that you're human. And if you don't have the answer, you know what, let me call my mentor. And I'll call you right back. Let me find it out. So that's trust, and that's showing the human side of you.
What are you teaching new agents? There's agents on here that, you know, I want you to talk about what you're focusing activity, because it doesn't just fall in your lap. What do you believe the key ingredients for a new agent or an agent that's stuck, which we get stuck?
We do.
What do you encourage them to do? Door knock, open houses, you know, Red X, calling for sell by owners and past clients, and give us a little insight on, I know you're super busy right now, so I know, you know, times go in waves, but what do you believe a brand new agent that comes to you says, hey, Paige, I got to get 3 houses sold in the next 3 months? What do you tell them to do?
Well, one, show up. So show up for these webinars, show up in the world for classes, and get as educated as you can. If you don't show up, I can't help you. I can give you all the tools, but you have to do the work. If you follow me on social media, almost every one of my hashtags says hashtag do the work, see the fruit. That's it. Do it, see the fruit. Till, you have to till your land. You know, you have the seed. We have so many seeds here at EXP, but you have to plant, you have to till, and then you'll see the fruit of your labor. Number 2, remember the young lady who came last week to the luncheon, Jay, who was crying on both of our shoulders.
Oh my gosh.
She was tag teaming us. Oh my gosh, because she is with
Don't say it. Don't say it. She's with one of the biggest brokerages in the world.
Team,
crying.
And she was boo-hooing because she's had her license for 4 or 5 or 6 months and has not had a closing yet, was promised everything and has received nothing. And I said, but you know what? You showed up here. So that's the first step. And then I just gave her, I'm sure Jay did too, I just gave her some, you know, some tools she can use right now. Start with your social media and your sphere of influence. That's where you start. You start with who you have and you get out there. And even though you're new, nobody knows you're new unless you tell them. So if you're getting educated here, if you latch on to, which you will get as a new agent at EXP, a mentor, it's mandatory. You latch onto that that mentor, then now you become the expert in whatever realm you want to start in. And so that's why you have to get comfortable on social media in front of videos to get out there. And you know, I've never been a door knocker, and I've never been able to cold call people. So that's not my strength, but my strength is getting out there and doing mailers. My strength is telling 10 people a day, hey, just want to remind you that I'm in real estate. So if you have any questions, just let me know. You know, I don't even ask for business half the time. I just say, if you have any questions about real estate, let me know. And I don't even tell them if I don't know the answer. I just go get the answer and then bring it back to them. You know,
and Paige and I, you know, we have a lot of the same types of building that relationship. I have one of the things I always tell a brand new agent, is you're going to have to invest $20 a month to be, $20 a week in Starbucks coffee to make it. So what that means is you have to find 5 people to go sit down and have coffee with them. You have to every week.
Yeah.
It's just, it's almost a mandatory thing. And some people are like, well, I can't, I got to find the easy way. That's too much. No, that's 5 hours. If you don't have those 5 hours, here's how it works. You're like, what are you talking about, Jay? What are you talking about? I'm talking about texting your buddy and saying, hey, Tim, let's go grab coffee this week. I want to catch up.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, guys, I can't sell that to you and be like, if I was like Jay Nelson and Paige Turner, the real estate coach of the world, we're the greatest. Look, Paige, think about Paige Turner, the greatest real estate coach in the world. If all she said was, hey, everybody, thanks for paying me $1,000 a month to coach you. Here's what you go do. You text 5, 10 people a week and go, hey, let's do Panera Bread. Let's do coffee and catch up. And you had to do that 5 times a week. You know, after a month, you're tired of paying her $1,000, right? Mm-hmm. But it's really a high touch game. And there's another gentleman, and I'm going to throw out a little bit of a shout out. Well, a lot of a shout out to him. And he is not in EXP. We tried to get him in EXP. And, you know, he's a FISBO. He's a sphere of influence. He's an expired listing specialist. And he uses the Red X, which is a tool. And I talked with Doug Mathis about this yesterday, not in depth. But the Red X is a great platform if you use it. And I was watching it was 3:00 in the morning last night. I was watching one of Ricky Caruth. His name is Ricky Caruth. And Ricky is literally a $1 million a year RE/MAX agent. He needs to be at EXP. We've met with him. You know, one day he's coming. Mm-hmm. But he is so good at cold calling. And here's the key to this on the cold call. And I watched a video last night of him doing it, and I thought, man, this is why the guy makes $1 million a year. He does not say, hey, I want you to remember me in real estate. He never brings up real estate. In his call, he simply says, hey, Doug, this is Ricky Caruth. How you doing today, man? You know, role play with me, Doug. Turn your mic on. Sorry. So let's say I don't know Doug and he lives in my neighborhood and I got his number off of Red X, okay? Hey, Doug, how you doing? This is Jay Nelson at EXP Realty. How you doing today?
Good. It's good to see you.
Awesome, man. Hey, listen, you know what? I live in your neighborhood, and I want to let you know there's no inventory. There's no houses for sale in the neighborhood, and we live here. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Listen, I just wanted to give you a call and see if there's anything that I can do to add value or help you in any way. Mm-hmm. Is there anything, Doug?
Add value to my property?
Just add value to you. I mean, you know what? I'm in the neighborhood and, you know, I'm just trying to be a good neighbor to everybody. I mean, I'm in real estate. I've sold, you know, 3 or 4 houses in the neighborhood. And I just wanted to know, is there any information about the marketplace? Is there anything I can do for you to help you in any way?
I mean, I don't know, man.
I know what to say, Doug. I would say, you know what? I'm curious to know. I've lived here for 10 years. What is my house worth right now?
Man, that's a great question. That's a great question, Paige. Listen, you know, are you guys, I mean, I'm not trying to solicit your business. I'm just talking about how I can add value to you. What are you guys thinking about maybe selling? Is that why you asked?
Well, we keep hearing that this market is so high, and I've always thought about moving to Florida, but I don't know if I have enough down payment because I don't even know, you know, what my house is worth right now.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. You know, and I think, you know, Paige, since we're talking and you're in the neighborhood, I'm in the neighborhood, the bottom line is there's no houses for sale. So that should tell you that the market is normally when there's 6 listings, you know, the market's a little harder. But yeah, people are getting a premium right now. Hey, I would have no problem if you wanted to meet for coffee and just talk. I could bring a little, a little spreadsheet of just, you know what, even if you don't sell, it's cool. I'm looking to just build a relationship with people here in the neighborhood, get to know people just as friends. I'll bring you a sheet of every house that's sold in the last year. We can have a cup of coffee and just make a friendship. Would that be something you're interested in?
I would love that because it's been so long. I don't even remember how to buy a house or sell a house. And people keep saying I'm sitting on a mint and I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, Paige. Listen, can I, and also, if you want, it's only if you want, I actually do a newsletter monthly that has everything that's sold. So if something pops up in sales, it'll automatically just send you a newsletter saying, hey, it's sold for this. If you want to drop me your email, I can at least add you to that. And then, maybe I'll get a text. I got your number here. I'll text you. We can go to coffee and I'll bring that or drop it by your house, either one.
Definitely. I would love that. My husband would love it.
What's your email, Paige?
Paige at notegaprealestate.com.
So look, he keeps it light.
Yeah.
He makes it not a solicitation. He makes it the key to his call always, and they go differently each time. The key to his call always is, I just wanted to, introduce myself and see what can I do to, possibly help you. He does not say real estate. There's something they need. There's some kind of information that you have that they don't, that they might need. And guys, it really, if you listen to the calls he does, it like takes the people back. Like they're like Doug was like, I said, Doug, what can I do to help you? You didn't know what to say when I said that. If I would have said, mute your mic, Daryl. Sorry, man. You came on and your mic's on. I thought it was brilliant when Daryl Clark, mute your mic. I'm going to mute you, Daryl. There you go. So I'm just looking at how can we build relationships. Go ahead, Paige. What are your thoughts on that? And you can use that with your sphere too. If you text them and they don't want to do coffee, hey, let's do coffee. That's what you're going to say when you're at coffee.
Right.
If Doug's going to go take 5 people a week to coffee, he's going to say, hey, man, you know what? Think about all the people you pastored, Doug. Mm-hmm. Think about it. They freaking love you. Go take them to coffee and just say, hey, man, you know what? We hadn't caught up in a long time. What can I do to help you, man? I just want to catch up with you. What can I do to help you? They're gonna say, well, tell me about this real estate. I see your Facebook Live, So does anybody have any questions for Paige Turner? You can unmute your mic and ask her direct questions, any questions. And, we're going to go about 15 more minutes, if that's okay, in just Q&A, because we want to be there for you.
Hey, Jay, it's Sunshine. Sorry, my voice is gone. But I just wanted to add on to what you guys were just talking about, because I feel like that's a question we get so often, because I don't have a problem calling somebody up and saying, hey, let's grab lunch, or let's get a coffee, or let's, whatever, play date for moms, or whatever it is you're doing. But I think a lot of people aren't sure what to do once they call. And I think just like remove real estate from that equation. Your friends primarily know you're in real estate. And I'm just a strong believer that it's not that we don't ask for the sale. It's not that we can't mention it, but just being truly, genuinely relational with your sphere, with your friends, with your family, with your church, with your whatever you're involved in, will reap such a huge benefit. So don't get caught up in, I don't know what to say to them about real estate or their neighborhood or their market, especially if you're newer to real estate. Just pick up a phone and ask somebody to lunch, period. Like, I just want to go to lunch with you. I'm bored. I ain't got nothing to do. What do you want to do? If you're in the Bible Belt and you're a believer, what can I pray for you about? Things like that. We threw an agent off guard the other day. I was like, hey, how can I pray for your business this year? He was like,
Wow.
What? He used to be in my college ministry. So, I mean, I know that we're on the same level that way. And I text him this week and I said, hey, man, I'm praying for X, Y, and Z that you mentioned. Hope things are going well. Let's stay in touch. Let's have, lunch again soon. So just my 2 cents on it as far as that goes. Like, just like
Awesome.
literally, even if you have nothing real estate to say, just go out with people, take them out, plan on going out every Friday night with somebody else. I don't know, but get out
I
there.
agree with you, Amber, totally. And that's being very just relational. Like, we're just friends and we're going out to eat. And if you don't know somebody, like when my kids were in school from elementary to high school, I was very involved in the school, knew all of the teachers, and I knew a lot of the teachers were renting. And I know that there's programs, especially when HUD was really hot, for teachers to buy houses at half of the cost. So I would just set up home buyers classes very casual. Like, you guys own houses? You know what? We should just get together and talk about it at your house. Everybody invite a friend. And I'll never forget one of my biggest testimonies.
Oh, that's
There were
awesome.
about 10 women that came, and 5 of them bought a house. And then I sold each one of those 5 members a house to their brother or sister, all within a 3 or 4 month period of time. That was like 20 transactions just in a 3 or 4, maybe a 4-month period of time, just by casually saying, let's just get together at your house and talk about real estate. I'm sure you know, because I don't mind anymore at this point. When I was at first a new agent, I was very timid, but now I'm like, this is what I do. I have doctors who I meet that say, hey, who's your general practitioner? So it's okay. So I don't mind asking one girlfriend, ask 5 of your girlfriends to come over, because everybody wants to know about real estate, but most people are timid to ask about how they can buy a house. And you would not believe the amount of buyers or even sellers out there. That's why we had such a huge, influx of foreclosures. Those people could have sold their house, but they were too scared to ask how. Too embarrassed, because they were not only, but when I say only 2 or 3 months behind, you still had another 2 or 3 months before foreclosure, and we could have sold it. So it's just kind of initiating that conversation and not being afraid to say, let's just meet at your house. I'll bring some wine and cheese and we'll talk about real estate, because most people don't know, even though we think they do.
Yeah. No, that's huge. And I like what you said about homebuyer classes. There are so many different ways to get in front and add value to people. I mean, I like the home buyer. I know you've been super busy. Is there anybody on here that's been doing some home buyer classes? I'm going to open that up, because that I know
We do
Paige.
them all the time.
Are you still doing them?
Yeah, I pop in. Absolutely. I can't go sell. So, I split,
Tell me what you're doing on that. Like, be a little bit more specific on that, if you would.
We have a home buyers class coming up on the 31st that one of my agents, Kelly, is doing. So I keep encouraging my agents to do it. And if 5 people show up, that's 5 people she's going to sell a house to. But I'm going to do an online one in the next 3 weeks. I haven't put a date there yet, but I'm just going to do an online private registration, make it sound real big. I'm just going to charge $1.99 just to hold people to come, to get online, and hopefully be able to fill it up. And I'm just going to say, this is just how you buy a house. I'm going to have one of my preferred lenders on there. They can call them and get their credit pulled and just make it real easy. Nothing too, we overthink so much as realtors. We have to have everything perfect and have like these big galas. Just be transparent, hold a nice little buyer seminar, or not seminar, but a buyer's class, and call it a day.
Do you ever make it social? Like, is it, hey, let's all get together? I mean, is it kind of a fun type pitch?
Well, no, this one is a buyer's class. Like what Kelly's having, she's promoting it as a buyer's class. Come learn how to buy a house. And because you guys, remember I told you I've been a HUD, well, I didn't tell you, but I've been a HUD listing agent since 2010. And I told you how many HUDs I was selling. In 2016, everything changed. But since November, I have received 5 HUD listings. Now, remember, I only got 3 in all of 2017 and only 1 at the beginning of 2018. But by the end, I've had 5. So that's telling me, 5 people have gone into foreclosure, where nobody went into foreclosure up until November, because I'm one of only 2 left of the listing brokers in Middle Tennessee. Wow. Because everybody just fell off. And I said, well, I'm not going to lose my contract, because what comes around goes around. So if we're here, something's going to have to happen eventually. Yeah. So we kind of talked about the changing of the tide. Perhaps we might not be there today or even this year, but for me to get 5 listings in the last 2 months, it tells me something.
Yeah. How much work goes into the HUD contract? You know, there might be some people outside of Nashville. It's pretty extensive amount of work, isn't it?
It's very extensive, but real estate's extensive,
Yeah.
you know, and it afforded me to send my babies through private school and to get them through college with very little loans.
So do you encourage people that are out, because we got agents all over the country watching this, would you encourage some of them to look into getting something like that?
Absolutely. And I actually we should do a Zoom call, Jay, just on HUD. And I've asked Tammy
That would be awesome.
I want to do a HUD class for, you know, if you're going to be a selling agent, you really should know the ins and outs of selling.
Can we do that? Would you?
Yeah, I do it all the time. We just haven't set it up yet. I just need to do it.
I'm in. I mean, we got 56 agents across the nation watching this right now. If we do that, I know the Zoom caps at 100. I'm going to have to upgrade the account, but we have 700 agents across the nation. I think we'd probably have 3 or 4.
Do it, and I can do it twofold. We can do one class on just being a good selling agent of HUD Homes, which everybody should be registered now, and I'll do, by the time that class comes, I'll get an overview on how the rest of the country's looking, because I haven't looked at that yet. Here in Nashville, getting 5 is a big deal. And then we'll do a separate class for how to apply to be a local listing broker for HUD. Now, let me just tell you guys about EXP and how one of our core values is agility. Let me tell you how agile our company is. Our company does not hold earnest money. As a HUD listing broker, you have to hold earnest money in your company. It used to be the title companies did it, but you know, asset managers come and go and they have their own processes and rules and regulations. So one of the things when I closed down my company and transferred last June into EXP, I said, you know, we have 0 HUD homes right now, but I don't want to lose this contract because I've won with 5 different asset managers over the last 10 years, and I don't want to let it go because I worked hard for it and it might come back. Everybody else in Middle Tennessee has fallen off, but maybe 2 of us. So I want to hold on to it. And that was the only thing. I got through the marketing and all that. Oh, we could talk about marketing another day. It's just amazing what I was able to do, keeping the Egap brand. But I don't want to let go of this HUD contract, and we don't hold earnest money.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, we just went all up the chain of command. We presented it. We said, listen, it's very small right now, but this will be very lucrative for our company. And wouldn't you know that our powers that be at EXP worked it out so that I could keep the contract and transfer it from Egap to EXP.
Yep. Wow.
When we weren't able to do so, but because of our agility and because of our other core values, we figured it out. And HUD agreed, and so now we have a HUD account.
I'm going to say something, and part of it's going to be a little bit aggressive, but I'm sorry I got to. If you're willing to do that class, I'm not opening that up to anybody but EXP agents. We let everybody get on this at a brokerage. If you're going to get the HUD contracts, I want to make that a closed group. I want to do that in the next 3 weeks.
Let's do that. Absolutely.
And you know, I don't, because I want look, we have to add value. I'm not saying we don't want to help. I want to help every agent from every brokerage, but if it comes to teaching agents across the nation how to get HUD contracts, I want those in EXP agents' hands. So that will be private. I will set that up with Paige. That is probably the most unbelievable thing that and here's the thing. At Remax, it's like counterproductive because you don't own Remax to do something like this. But here, not to say you don't want to help agents if you're at Remax. I'm not saying that. It's just we really do have this massive vested interest to help all of the EXP agents because of the way the model works at EXP. And we as agents are the ones that are owning this thing. And it's magical. I mean, even calls like this every week with agents. And we've had, you know, Paige, thank you for coming on. And then 2 weeks ago, we had Drew Schrader, $30 million producer from Berkshire Hathaway that came to EXP. He came on. Then we had, Tim Holland, and 3 weeks ago, $1 million a year in commissions at Remax before he came to EXP. And I've just never seen the training and the giving at any other brokerage than we are here at EXP. It's awesome.
And even on the selling side for HUD, for agents who are registered with HUD, there's so many great programs that HUD doesn't advertise anyway, but like HUD has, if your client's getting an FHA loan, HUD will waive the 3.5% and they only have to pay $100 to buy a home. HUD will pay up to 3% in closing costs. HUD has the Good Neighbor Next Door program where if you're a police officer, firefighter, nurse, teacher, or EMS worker, you can purchase a HUD home at 50% of the list price, and you only have to live in it for 3 years.
What?
Yes.
See, guys, listen to me. Look, these are things that you could be, I haven't seen one. This is what blows my mind. Everybody's wondering, oh, I can't sell a house. I have nothing to talk about. I have no listings. They're whining and crying because they're not selling enough real estate. Look, if you guys would take that information right there and create video content and place it on your social media, you'll sell 3 police officers a house in the next 3 months.
And any listing broker that you see that has a HUD listing, you can promote that listing.
Yes.
So we have an exclusive agreement, but it's not exclusive to market. So for instance, if Alicia saw one of my listings and she was an agent here in Nashville or anywhere around the country, she can promote it. I mean, all you have to do, we have to stay within our laws. You have to say, you know, listed and marketed by Page Turner EXP Realty in size 8 font at the bottom of your advertisement. But
say that one more time. On the listing, it has to have what again?
It has to have who the listing broker is. So it has to say listed and marketed by Page Turner EXP Realty and the phone number.
Yep.
But you can market that across the country. You can market in a California Facebook page and say, hey, you guys need to invest in Nashville. Here's a HUD home that's open to investors, and make that part of your marketing. Absolutely, you can. I need you to sell it anyway.
And what right now is the HUD website that you recommend that has the best data on it? And somebody, when she says this, type it in so everybody can get it.
It is, and this is the only one. You'll see a whole bunch of them pop up, but the Bible, I call it the Bible of HUD.
Bible one.
The Bible one is HUDHomestore.com. HUDHomestore.com. I'll put it in here. HUDHomestore.com. Now, this is a public website, so you see any HUD home that's available across the country on this website. You just click by state, and it's really cool to see what's available where, okay? Now, this is also where registered agents you have to register here in order to be a selling agent. So you cannot place a bid for a buyer unless you're registered here. What's brilliant about HUD is that buyers can't place a bid themselves. They have to use a licensed real estate agent that is registered with HUD.
Thank goodness.
You can also market yourself as that. You come to my class and now you are a HUD expert, and you can also use that as part of your marketing and one of your commas past your name that nobody understands but us.
What about the 203K loan? This webinar is money.
HUD allows 203K loans. It's the FHA 203K loan. So they allow you to either pay with FHA loan, FHA-B, which is repair escrow, or a 203K conventional or cash. They do allow VA, but I would highly, highly urge you not to show buyers with VA loans, because VA loans require that repairs be completed on a property before closing. And with HUD, all HUD homes are sold as is, and you can never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, ever make one repair on a HUD home before closing. But there are other ways to get repair escrow with FHA and conventional or FHA loans. So on our training call, I'll go into that. But HUD is amazing. When we have them, I mean, now's the time to get ready so that you are that expert. Yes. And you're ready to get all these buyers. And then we can also show you how to become a listing broker as well.
I see Daryl Clark's got his hand up. My man, Daryl Clark in California, baby.
Yeah, my home state.
I'm going to start calling him the California kid, Daryl Clark. Daryl, what you got, baby? Turn your mic on. Daryl's having mic trouble. Hold on, I'm gonna unmute you. Go ahead.
SFR, Michelle. Single
Can you
family.
guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Daryl. What's up, man?
You were mentioning about the home buyer seminars, and that HUD is pretty awesome. We were doing, Melvin and I, we have been putting on home buyer seminars probably for the past 10 years. And pretty much how we've done it was that we've pretty much made it home buying 101 from the, you tell them exactly the process of getting finance, picking your realtor all the way to the loan part. And in between that, we have a home inspector coming in, we have a title coming in, we have an escrow person coming in as well. And everybody that has come to that seminar, we have closed deals with at least 3 or 4 folks who have actually came into our seminar.
Hey, Daryl.
Yes, sir.
Would you and Melvin mind being a guest next Tuesday and go over in detail, like literally prepare for it and go in detail on what y'all are doing with those 101 HUD 101s? Would you and Melvin come on as collective lead together and do that for us next week?
Okay, that sounds good. Now we haven't, as far as the HUD, I tapped in a little bit into the HUD, but I'll definitely be on this next call. But what we've been able to specialize in is actually showing buyers where to locate down payment assistance money.
Okay.
And things of that nature. Because with especially here in California, with the changing of the prices here, either folks are buying collectively, multifamily, or they're going to have to find down payment assistance money. And many agents out here, they do not like to go that extra mile, but we actually had to when the market changed back in 2008. So what we've been able to do is actually bring somebody in, educate them no fluff, no bells and whistles, but let them know exactly what's going to happen throughout the process and walk them through it.
Man.
And out of that, we get a ton of referrals too.
Dude, well, y'all are amazing. By the way, Daryl and Daryl Clark, Melvin Burrell, follow them on Facebook. They're amazing realtors. Melvin and you had built, different brokerages and companies together, and y'all have been, they're ballers out there in Los Angeles area. So guys, listen, hey.
That's one thing real quick, Jay.
Go ahead.
When you guys set up your home buyers class, that's something else that I forgot to mention that we have on ours. You don't have to go into a whole HUD class in order to put on your flyer for your home buyers class. Learn how to buy a home with $0 down, with $100 down. Learn how to buy a HUD foreclosure. Those are those trigger words that people are like, wait, what? $100 down, $0 down payment. Those are things that you should know about. You should know.
Right.
Well, guys, listen, I got one more person with their hand up, and then we're going to close out because Paige has got a big presentation she's got to get to because we're changing agents' lives with EXP, and she's probably one. By the way, I'm going to say 2 things before I call on Jessica Lombardi, and then we're going to wrap. I'm going to broadcast Paige's presentation on the Real Estate Mastermind group today. Paige does an unbelievable presentation, and she's going to be doing it at 11 a.m. Central Time today. If you go to the Real Estate Mastermind group, I'm going to go live within that private group. If you are not in EXP, you will not see the presentation because we do it live within a private Facebook group. So that's going to be at 11 a.m. Central. No. Actually, excuse me, 11:30. Is that correct, Paige? We get there at 11. You'll go live at 11:30.
That's correct.
So any EXP agents that are in our private group, the Real Estate Mastermind, I'm going to type that in. The Real Estate. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't type very good. As you can see, I typed her website, Real Estate Mastermind on Facebook. There you go. I'm gonna go live at 11:30 with Paige's presentation. The next thing I'll say before I call on Jessica, and we're wrapping right after Jessica's question. I know we're going long, but this was a great training. Is tomorrow night. If you want to see an EXP presentation, or you want other agents to see an EXP presentation, you want to invite some people, guys, I do a presentation. It's pretty detailed, and I do it Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. And all you got to do is come to this link. It's not a different link. You don't have to go, what's the link for tomorrow night's presentation? I'm going to be doing it on this Zoom link that you're already on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central. And I do it every Wednesday on the same link. I do it every Sunday on the same link. And next Tuesday, when Melvin and Daryl do their training, it'll be on the same link. The link never changes, okay? So get on the Facebook Live and see Paige. And then one other thing we do weekly, Brandon Patrick, put this in your notes. Brandon Patrick, who mentored me and brought me to RE/MAX 15 years ago, he does a presentation on this same link that you're on right now, an EXP presentation. He does that at 10 a.m. Central Time on Thursday mornings. Every Thursday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. All right, Jessica Lombardi, what's your question? We're going to wrap this amazing training. And I want to thank Paige Turner so much for doing this.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jay and Paige, yeah, thank you. Your nuggets there are gold. Appreciate it. But I do have a question. I'm a new agent. I'm dual licensed in Florida and New Mexico.
Hey, Jessica, turn your mic, get a little, I'm having trouble hearing you. Sorry to put your face up in the camera, but I want to hear you better.
Put a picture instead. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'm a new agent. I'm dual licensed in Florida and New Mexico. And I'm currently working in my New Mexico market, and it's pretty rural. My question is, I really want to do some of these classes, like what you guys were talking about the home buyers classes, but because I'm new, I definitely lack the confidence due to lack of knowledge. Where can I go? Where can I start to try to get some of the knowledge so that I can hold these classes and not look like an idiot standing up in front of people?
Jessica, I would definitely, next week when Melvin and Daryl come on here, like you need to be like on here, and I record these. Daryl and them are going to go over that. I'm not trying to interrupt Paige. Daryl and them are going to go over what they do next week. Okay. I'm going to make them do that. I love those guys. All right. And then you can take those notes and look, people like good people. They don't care that you're a new agent. They just want somebody that loves on them. You can kill this thing. I don't want, stop thinking about you being a new agent and people just want people they trust. If you're new, you're knowledgeable. So let's get you the knowledge and you go kill this thing.
And also we need to get her, I have several just, you can change out because it's in, a buyer presentation. You study your buyer's presentation, and then that's all you do. You have your slides up, but then you don't just read the slide, you just speak from your heart. Like you'll see the presentation today. There's so many words on all those slides, but I really just speak from my heart because EXP is now in my blood and part of my makeup. And so we go through the slides, you will get factual information, but just like with the home buyers class, you at least have something to start with. You have to have something for people to look at. So we can get that.
Do you have those slides, Paige?
For a home buyer's presentation?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Would you mind putting those in the real estate mastermind at some point? Not today, but
yes.
Throw them up. I mean, you don't have. I mean,
No, I will. It's a PowerPoint. Can I upload PowerPoint in there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll help. Okay. I'll make sure we get that up. And
is it the one from EXP?
No.
What'd she say?
Is it the one from EXP about buyer classes?
No, this is a home buyer's presentation.
Okay.
We'll get that to you, Jessica. Yeah. And listen, that is a great question. And one other thing I'll tell you about being a new agent and trying to launch you being an expert, here's what you need to do immediately. You need to go find a great lender and a great title company in those towns. And you walk in and you say, listen, I'm going to be the biggest freaking realtor within a 100-mile radius of here. And you have an opportunity to be a part of this. I need somebody to invest in me now because I'm about to kill it. And I need you to sponsor these things and come with me at them. So you have a great lender there and a great title, and you're the person presenting, but you got experts surrounding yourself. It's like Brett Favre, the quarterback, surrounding himself with a great left tackle and a great right tackle. It makes you a lot better than getting sacked, right?
And an inspector too. A home inspector will definitely show up and help you.
So home inspector, title company, mortgage company. Get them lined up. Anything else, Paige Turner, before we log out of here? Thank you.
No, I
so
think I put some
much,
more
Paige
paint on
Turner.
y'all. Thank you guys for listening.
All right, awesome. Thanks.
Ashley just screamed great training, Paige. She's been in the other room listening.
Thank you, Ashley. She's so sweet. I just love her.
Well, y'all have a great day. Let's go sell some houses. And EXP Nation, we're taking it over, baby.
Yes.
The largest
All right.
real estate company in the world within 5 years of today. Let's get it. See you guys.
Bye,
All
y'all.
right.
Bye-bye.
All right.